Hi, teacher. We are group number 7, and today we will talk about semantics, the branch of linguistics that studies meaning in human language. Semantics help us understand how words, phrases, and sentences express ideas and how people interpret them. We will focus on three main topics: fundamental semantic concepts, compositionality, and meaning in context. Together, these concepts explain how language works and how meaning is created in communication.
The fundamental concept in semantics. Today, we're going to talk about the fundamental concept of the semantics. That is the study of the meaning in the human language. We can approach this topic from the two angles. The first has to do meaning and the context. Every word or phrase gets the real names depending on the situation is used in the register we chose. For instance, we don't speak the same way in the medical context as with the vocabulary and also the paralanguage, meaning the gesture and intonation that accompany what we say. The second angle is an analysis of the meaning itself. Here we define themes, the minimal units of the meaning, relations, like the synonymy and antonymy, and the difference between the tonation and literal meaning, and the connotation, the figurative meaning. Semantics doesn't just study that words mean, but how the context of the language is structured will that meaning together.
Compositionality is a fundamental principle of semantics that explains how people construct the meaning of linguistic expression. Tell us that the meaning of a sentence is not random, but rather constructed from two things: the meaning of each word and the grammatical rules that combine them. Compositionality shows that the order of words directly influences the interpretation of a message. Furthermore, this principle distinguishes between lexical meaning and sentence meaning. Lexical meaning refers to the individual meaning of each word, whereas sense meaning emerge when those words are combined according to the rules of grammar. But there are special cases, for example, structural ambiguity, when the structure of a sentence allows for more than one possible interpretation. There are also anomalous sentences when a sentence is grammatically correct but semantically impossible. Another interesting aspect is that two different structures can express the same idea if they share the same logical meaning. Every sentence has a predicate, an argument, modification, and coordination. And finally, the idiomatic expression, whose meaning cannot be deduced from the words that compose it.
Meaning in language often depends on the context in which something is said. This is the main difference between semantics, which studies the fixed meaning of words, and pragmatics, which studies how context shapes meaning. A clear example of this is its words like I, here, and now change their meaning depending on who is speaking and when and where they are speaking. Linguistic. David Kaplan explained this using the ideas of character and content. The character is the fixed rules of the word, and the content is the actual meaning once we know the context. For instance, the word I always refers to the speaker, but the specific person changes every time someone new says it. And even adjectives like tall depend on context, because being tall depends on who or what we're comparing someone to. This shows that understanding meaning isn't only about words.
In conclusion, semantics shows the meaning is created through the relationship between word, grammar, and context. We learned that the meaning of a sentence depends on both the meanings of individual words and the way they are combined. We also saw that context plays an important role because the same expression can have different interpretation and different situations. Overall, this concept helped us better understand how people communicate and interpret language in everyday life.